But funny enough, we have collectors that we ask that work of yours, which you never want to show them.
Show
to
them.
Me. And
they fall in love with
the
it.
kind of work they want to buy. And I've also learned that in life, don't be scared to fail. Okay? So fail, but fail forward.
Customer experience isn't just what businesses design. It's how people feel. And sometimes the best customer experience ideas don't come from boardrooms or textbooks. They come from unexpected places. My guest today is a self-trained Nigerian artist. His work explores culture, emotions, and how people feel. He has a background in history and diplomatic studies. Let's meet you.
I am Adubi Mydaz Makinde, popularly known in the arts industry as Adubi Mydaz Makinde. I am a contemporary Nigerian artist. I've been in the scene for about 20 years now, 2 decades, exploring and illustrating ideas about African cultures and ways of life. Coming into this creative endeavor is more than a passion to me. I was drawn into art as young as I was when I was around 5 to 6 years old. So then a lot of people will commend me when I used to draw and do different creative things. And it was from that moment that I believe I had a very strong calling. And thanking God, today I've had my works and I've done a lot of exhibitions, solo and groups. My works are in different collections, in home and abroad. And I am still planning on doing more, even more than I've ever done before. The whole idea is that as an artist, you document as much as you can, as much as your subconscious mind, permits you, what is going on around you, because that is exactly what art is for. Art is meant for documenting events. It's meant for educating the illiterate. Art is also meant for entertaining people. Yeah, but for much of the time, my own work is meant for awakening the mind of people that need to know what is going on in the society. Let me say, for instance, one of the basic function of art is bringing a less known characteristics of one thing as a metaphor of a well-known characteristics of another thing. So through these arts, we try to communicate a lot of these ideas to the masses. And I believe when art has some of these characteristics, a good artwork has done its job.
Well put. Yeah. So, I've been in CX for the better part of a decade and a half. And when I say CX, I mean customer experience. Now, customer experience is how you make people feel. Looking at the art behind me, I can definitely say I feel something, from the beautiful ladies to the expressions. It allows you to live where you are and then go to a place, a place in the past for some, for me, a place where I'd like to be in the future, And I definitely feel something. It's important to ask this question. As an artist, how do you want people to feel when they look at your art?
I want people to be transformed from the very moment you have an encounter with my work. I want your subconscious to be taken from all the chaos from the environment into another layer of realities. So the feeling that comes from seeing my work are the things that you relate with as an observer. Because for every observer, there is a unique interpretation that they have with each piece.
Absolutely.
So for my work, generally my work communicates positive things. Like a lot of them are motivational pieces, because I, as an artist, I don't like projecting works that make people sad or put you in low frequency. I want you to like have a work on your wall where even if you've had a very bad day, but as soon as you come into your living environment and you're seeing my work, there is a feel of hope, a feel of life is good, a feel of something that gives you the faith to want to continue, even if you probably had a very challenging moment. My heart gives you that hope. Okay, like, look, life is beautiful, something like that. So it's a positive feeling.
Life is beautiful. I think I like that line.
Yes.
Life is beautiful. Yes. We think about books, we think about musics, we think about movies, And when we think of these expressions, they all do the same thing for people. They feed your imagination, right?
Yes.
And in this case, the experience you are trying to exude, promote, is one that says life is good. So we can say that your product is your art form, and what you are, I don't want to use the word selling now because that's business-like, but what you are pushing out there is an expression of happiness, an expression of joy, an expression that allows you to transcend whatever is happening around you to where you want to be, a moment in your past that is good, something that essentially makes you happy.
Yes.
And that is customer experience too. That is customer experience. You go out to buy rice and beans so that once you eat that rice and beans, you are satisfied. Once you eat that rice and beans, you enjoy the complicated combinations of the taste that has gone into the creation of the stew, the rice, the beans, those sort of things, right?
Yes.
That is a product, rice and beans. How the person who eats it feel is the experience. Now, your art is the product. How you want your customers to feel is the experience. And I like what you're doing here, by the way. It's absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely amazing indeed. Now, there is a process to creation for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a businessman, an artist, a musician. There is a process, a thinking process. Now, my question is, when you are creating, who are you thinking about? Are you thinking about yourself? Are you thinking about the buyer? Or are you thinking about just anyone who sees the art?
Okay, good. Thank you for that question. That's a very unique question. When I create, because it's a continuous activity, I create each and every piece of my work as a gift to the world. So I'm a human being.
Yes.
And definitely these works may or will be collected by other human beings.
Absolutely.
There are works that I don't want to sell, that I reserve for myself.
Yeah.
But actually, most of my works are collected. Let me say more than 95% of my works are collected.
Yeah.
So when I create with the intention to communicate. Yes. You see, there is what we call context in the word of art. Context is about the unique circumstances that surrounds the creation of an art. The artist and the viewers of the art itself. Is the art a male or female? Is religion or the perspective of life and everything. So, so a creation of art from my perspective is to start something that communicates to the world and let the message be a message that resonates with the observer. Because that is when the creation of art gets completed. Okay? If an average piece of art is created, but the observers do not get a message from it, you may want to ask yourself, is that an art piece? Or maybe it's another form of art. But for me, fine art as a complete process of the artists, like me now, practically, sometimes I meditate before I start each piece of art. Okay, what is the message I want to send to the world now? Like I said the other time that my works, a lot of my works are motivational series. I asked myself, which other method or form can I pass this particular unique message? There is a particular piece of work I just started right now, and the title is Becoming Obama. So I titled that work as Becoming Obama for the fact that Obama was a unique guy in US, a black man becoming the president of America. And everybody knows how challenging it is for black people, even living their day-to-day living experience. So for a black man to become a president there, the man has that Obama went through a lot of challenges and definitely had conquered, mental blockages. So for me, putting up this work now is a message to the world that, okay, look, if Obama can do it, you can do it too. So I create, these are the thought process that come into the creation of my work. Then sometimes too, if the work are those that have scenarios and everything, a lot more compendium of ideas come into play. And I try as much as possible to make sure that even though there are codes in the works too, yeah, but the message sometimes could be subtle, but then it now depends on the observer. So, for instance, as an artist, I don't start any work to say this is particularly targeted towards a particular person, except maybe for some very exceptional scenarios. But maybe, for instance, it's a commissioned work. When a work is a commissioned work, then the artist and the person that owns the work probably co-create the work together. So that work is targeted towards the person. But when I start any piece of work, I don't have any idea who is going to collect it. But the idea is that there is a message behind it, and the message clicks to the audience. Then this kind of work gets
So
a place.
back to the question. What I hear you say now is when you create, there is an inward-outward approach. It comes from you, you meditate, and then you push it out. However, it is not complete unless it resonates with someone. So there is an amalgamation of some sort between the artist and the intended audience, even if that audience is not put into a box of it is for this man, it is for that woman. That audience exists. And what I hear you say now is when you are creating, you are not thinking solely about yourself, but you are also thinking about the message you want to share.
Yes, of
Is
course.
that correct?
Yes, of course.
Okay. So essentially, it means that all three parties are involved in your creation process: the artist, the buyer, and the viewer. They all
course.
exist. And let's face it, for you to be a buyer, you must view first, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means that sometimes customer experience is not necessarily a straight through process. It is not just about someone who decides to do and then does it and then doesn't care about who benefits from it. It is a case of, and let's use the example of my rice and bean seller. There is a woman at home who knows that she is good at cooking.
Yes.
And she thinks through the process of what would be the right mix of rice, of beans, of the stew. Should I use locust beans? Should I use chicken? Should I use meat? She thinks about all that thing. But she also has it in mind that our food, our business is incomplete until people actually eat it and say, well done. And that sort of explains your process in a way. It comes from you because the talent is in it. It comes from you because there is meditation involved.
Yes.
It comes from you because you have a message that you want to share. And for you, fulfillment is only achieved after the end user, the audience that is abstract, so to say,
Yes.
becomes real, consumes it, looks at your art, falls in love with it,
That is the
and
customer
resonates with
experience
it.
there. Yes, of course.
That is
Affirmatively.
customer.
Yes, if I may just elaborate a little bit more.
Yeah.
Customer experience, when it relates to art, I'm talking generally about artists now, is a little bit unique.
Yeah.
Yes, because the people that collect art, they collect art for much more various reasons, more than just something looking fine on the wall. I think a lot of us already know, but if some of us don't know already, but we should talk about it right now. People that collect artworks for a part of a good reason, they collect artwork as an alternative form of investment.
True.
Yes. So if we think about customer experience from that perspective, these notable people, they collect this work for multiple layers of reasons. One, this work resonates with me.
I like it.
Second, this work has value. So I've decided to put money on it. Third, this work, over some years, because it has value, it will definitely accrue more appreciation than sell more.
Sure.
So that is the investment part of it. Then, let me say, fourthly, some people, they collect these works and as part of their own contribution to the society, some of them, they collect this work and, just donate it to museums.
Museums, oh yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
they donate these works to museum because they want the work to remain maybe in a particular environment based on the context of the work. Like I said, the societal and cultural context where the work is made. For instance, I used to have one collector, late Mr. Olagbaju, one of the biggest collectors of artwork in Nigeria. He told me personally that one of the reasons why he collects work of art from good Nigerian artists is that he doesn't want some of our best works to filter away to the Western world. Yes. So he committed a lot of his resources into buying and storing away, carefully storing away some of this beautiful work of art. And I hope and I believe that his children or the custodian of the works right now are taking good care of those works.
So what you've said is actually profound. It means that
So that's the customer experience.
Yeah, it is profound, right? It means that customer experience doesn't even end with the buyer.
doesn't end with the
It goes beyond the buyer.
yes.
It transcends the buyer to the people who will come to the buyer's house and say, this is beautiful.
Yes.
It transcends the buyer in the sense that it becomes something that the buyer can even share with the world. In the case of the man you just talked about, you know. And I think that is something profound for a lot of businesses out there. When you design a product, when you design a service, it goes beyond just the person who actually buys that product or service. It extends beyond that. And it's only when you have that sort of mindset in your design process that your product is actually customer experience centric.
Yes. Actually, I think as a creator, customer experience is king. When you start the process of creating any item, although we that we are artists, we don't refer our work as product.
Of course.
Because these are intellectual properties.
Yes.
But now the thing is that even at the end of the day, even if you are a less known artist, for instance, now those that scribble designs and on the walls, on the streets, we call them graffiti artists. There is also a customer experience there, you know, because for the people that lives within that, within the conclave of that community, that corridor, having graphic, is it graphic work or graffiti on you know in their surrounding, gives them a kind of unique kind of experience.
It evokes a feeling.
Yes, it evokes a feeling. Sometimes a lot of them, even if they've traveled to other places in the world, they always think, okay, look, when I was growing up, there was this experience I used to have, you know, passing through this corridor where there were graffiti and everything on the wall. So customer experience is king, like I said, because you just want to make sure that whatever you do is something of value, and that value is projected to the consumers. So then, like for me, what I said earlier, my thought of creation is completed when the consumer, the end user of my work, you know, like attach some level of importance to what I have done. Sometimes I have people that will say, okay, look, see this particular piece of art, I want it. Even though if I don't have more money now, I will still buy later. You know, that is an experience. Okay, that's an experience. Then for those that, you know, they have the funds, the resources to afford it, it just immediately like, look, this was the story of my. Sometimes I have clients that told me that this was the story of my wife when she was growing up. This story, the narrative behind this particular piece, this was a story, and I want this work, you know, to be in our home to you know, like be like a memory for that. So that is like the kind of customer experience that we have, you know, around art.
One thing is clear from the artworks I've experienced today. I've seen at least, say, 7 or 8 finished pieces and a couple of work in progress.
Yes.
It's clear that this is not what you do in an hour or a day. Sometimes it could take a week, it could take a month. And I'm just guessing here, guys, but considerable time has gone into this. Yes. Now, I'm curious about this. During your creative process of coming up with something like this, how are you sure that the audience or the intended consumer would fall in love with your work even before it's complete? Because I know something must also sustain that process. And for some, they are probably, if I, for instance, now I'm overly critical about what I do. Now, when you begin that process and say every milestone you hit, you're probably constantly asking yourself that, will this thing sit well with my intended audience? So the question basically, Dapo, is, or Adubi Mydaz, let's use your name, is how do you know your work will be loved before it's actually completed?
Okay, good. By the grace of God, let me put it that way, I am an established artist. And that's just a title, anyways.
Yeah.
But by action and profession and my reality, what I do, the works I create, gets continuously absorbed in the art market, both secondary and primary channels of distribution.
Yeah.
So when I'm creating, even from the beginning of the time when I started doing work, I take my time to make sure I churn out quality pieces. I don't like to have multitudes, and I don't do try and error, even though I do a lot of experimentations. Okay. Yes. Despite all that, my work have consistency in the way they look, so that when you see my work, you'll be like,
You know,
this is
this is,
Adubi.
yes, yes,
Okay, so
absolutely.
now, when I work, I don't get myself worried about if the work will be collected, because the end product is already known. Like I said, from my meditation, I already know what I want to achieve. In fact, it's a shocking thing to me when I hear some artists say that they don't have titles for their work. Sometimes some people will complete their work and they say they don't have titles for it. For me, I have titles for it, because there's a message for each and every work. Even if it's a portrait, then we have the compositional ones that have multiple figurative expressions there. But there's a message, and then I just allow the work, sometimes I allow the work to lead me. The
It
colors
sounds spiritual.
that, yes, the colors that will be combined together. I think the most challenging part for me is the drawing. Although when I say challenging, it's not challenging for me because I
Yeah,
am an artist.
yeah,
But challenging that is because I challenge myself to be better each and every day.
time.
So I don't want to like have a repetitive work.
Yeah,
I try as much as possible not to, even if someone is asking me to like do an exact replica of what I've done before, there are still some things that will be different in them. So, but then sometimes there's something we call mental block for artists, where you are in the process of creating a particular piece, then you just
Zone
get
out.
stuck. So I think that even happened to me recently, about 2 or 3 days ago. So what I do in those kind of time, I just pause, relax, play around, maybe do something, leave something else. Then the idea will come back flushing in. That's okay. Do it this way. Do it that way. So, but then at the end of the day, then the creation continues. Then I create, and it becomes something solid. So actually, what happened is that nowadays, the numbers of work I create are a little bit, can I say, fewer, unlike about 5 to 12 years ago.
Yeah,
The reason being that I am going through a process where I take my time to churn out better quality works, even from the mixing of the colors, from the preparation of the canvas, because I use unique canvas preparation. My works are uh, executed on textured, or is it texturized canvas we call it right now. So even the technique of rendering the colors too takes me more time, and it also absorb more colors than before. So at the end of the day, when each and every piece is completed, the moment you as an observer have an encounter with these works, I believe you are taken in already. So you should be transported into the how was this work done? Like how many days, how many months did it take this artist to complete this work, even without meeting me or knowing me first. The work communicates to you. Yeah. So, and much more. And another thing that you will realize from my work is that I'm a self-taught artist. So I operate out of the box from the academic perspective of rendering art. So that also kind of show in my work too right now. And that is the main reason why I believe when each and every individual piece, gets completed, an average observer know that, okay, this is something unique and they want to be part of it.
Yeah.
So I think that answers the question.
Yes, it does. It does. Now, the question has an additional layer to it.
Okay.
I'm not an artist. I don't know what goes into that creative process. However, I consider myself an artist in a little way. When I'm creating content, right? Sometimes when I'm doing my talking head videos, there are just a lot of mistakes in between. And there are instances where I get to and I say that, nah, this would not fly. And I have to rewind and go back to the beginning, Get rid of that. We call it a take. Say maybe take one. Get rid of that, take one, and then go back and then redo the take again. Essentially start from the beginning. Now, my question, and you probably you can already see this coming, is there ever an instance where you start a project and then at some point you find out that, nah, this will not work. This is not what I conceived. This is not my dream. This is not what the story I want to tell. And then you just terminate it from there and then start from the beginning again. Does that happen in your sphere?
Let me start by saying that nobody's perfect. Okay, good. But because I've mastered my trade, nowadays I rarely have any work where, because sometimes the rendition of each of the piece goes through mechanical process.
Okay.
Where you sit down, sometimes you just want to write down, okay, this particular work, the background is going to be this particular kind of color.
Yeah.
Even you may have 7 hues of a particular color that you want to, use in a particular area of the piece.
Yeah.
So I believe that when the planning process is well thought of, you reduce the chances of mistakes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And for some part of it, the materials that we use for these artworks, they are damn expensive, very expensive. So you don't want to mess around.
Yeah.
And also know that the time that it has taken you to, first go the route of mistake, you may not be able to recover it back. So anyways, the planning process reduces mistakes in rendering works. So, but at the end of the day, sometimes let's even assume you finish the work, and the work is not what you thought it is. Then probably you don't want to present it to the to the world. But funny enough, we have collectors that we ask that work of yours, which you never want to show, show them to me. And
they fall in love with
the
it.
kind of work they want to buy. So I would say personally, I have like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 pieces like that I did in the past, in like 12, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I still keep it around.
Yeah.
So when I see them once in a while, it reminds me of where I started from, the process. And I've also learned that in life, don't be scared to fail. Okay? So fail, but fail forward. Okay? You do mistakes and then correct yourself. That's how you get this thing done. So, but nowadays, the mastery is there, and there are lesser mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay? So, it's a process. You plan your work, do the drawing. I have my drawing book somewhere there in the studio, and then you start. So then you complete. Yes.
Yeah, this is indeed customer experience in unexpected places. You know,
Yes.
and I've learned something, important from this. Because of the uniqueness of what you do, and this goes out to some businesses out there. In your product creation process, you may not think you have the best product. However, there is a customer out there who wants that product. And look at you now. You started your process, no doubt, at least a decade and a half ago, at least. And I don't even know your history now. But at that point, you've experienced what it meant to fail, what it meant to fail fast, what it meant to learn, what it meant to get better, what it meant or what it means now to be an expert at what you do. And all that is a process. So businesses out there should also think along those lines. When you start, be prepared to make mistakes.
Yes.
But when you make mistakes, learn quickly. Learn from it and get better. And when you do, your product will get better. And I guess that's the reason why we have what is called MVP now in the business parlance. They call it minimum viable product. You want to build a bicycle. You first start with a one-wheeler.
Yes.
Can someone use it? If the answer is yes, that's fine. Let the person use it. After a while, you enhance it until it becomes that bicycle. And once it gets to that bicycle, you can enhance it until it becomes a motorcycle.
Yes.
So I see that in what you're saying, and I think it's something that a lot of businesses, what I can also learn from, When it comes to mastery, there is always a starting point, but you have to be deliberate such that once you get to that point, your mistakes are lesser, your risks are minimal, and your customers are satisfied. So fantastic. So let's talk about feedback and inference. How does feedback influence your work process?
Good.
How does feedback influence your work process?
Okay, good. There is a certain amount of thoughts that goes into the kind of work an artist executes sometimes.
Okay.
Why I say that is that you certainly don't want to be doing works that are not accepted as well.
Okay.
Even though, as an artist, to be candid, your ultimate intention is just to express your message. However,
Your message is not a message if it's not received by someone.
Yes, of course. However, you also are thinking of your living expectations in terms of okay, of let me just put it down. You have running bills as long as you're alive.
Fair enough.
Then even for you to be able to kind of execute more works,
Yeah.
you want to enlarge your capacity,
Yeah.
buy more art materials and everything.
Yeah.
So now feedback comes in the form of when you execute, standard quality works.
Yeah.
People will ask for more.
Yeah.
And when they ask for more, as an artist, one thing you have to be careful about is you do not want to like commercialize your creative expressions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it loses its flavor.
Loses its value.
It loses its value to some extent. So, although there's a process at which established artists, do, large bodies of work because there is high demand for what they are doing.
Yeah.
However, for me as a particular artist, I feel like whatever makes your art's piece to have less than 10% interaction of your personal touch.
Yeah.
Because now you have a lot of demands now. So you have a lot of studio apprentices working on your canvases, and you are just doing 10% of it.
It's no more you.
Yeah, it's no more you. It's no more. So for me, my Adubi for right now, for people that are collecting Adubi is more than 100%. Okay, so now feedback. Going back to the topic is when your work is consistently, being absorbed into the art market, and you are not, reducing the quality in whatever manner, and it goes pari passu. Okay, I hope I've been able to answer your question.
Yeah, so that works, but I'm going to layer it a little.
Yes.
Feedback can also be twofold, right?
Yes.
Twofold in the sense that now I'm referring to feedback in terms of customer feedback.
Yes.
Feedback from the person who buys your art, feedback from your peers who are also artists like you.
Yes.
Now, has there ever been a time where you've reflected on the feedback you get? Because I'm sure you would have gotten feedback in one form or the other. Has there ever been a time where you've reflected on that feedback and it has influenced, say, maybe future works? Or maybe you just think that this feedback is just not for me. This feedback interrupts my style of creation. So, yeah.
Okay, yes. Let me first address the feedback addressing future works.
Yeah.
Feedback could be a validation.
Yes.
That this particular, sometimes you could be exploring a particular series.
True.
And you yourself, it, each and every moment, one of the piece coming out from that series, it gets collected immediately. That's a feedback. Now, if you're not careful, that will be influencing you to be,
doing it that way.
So then there's a thought of carefulness there, because before you know it, you are losing focus on other. You're
only thinking about cashing out now.
You are doing too now. So that feedback, me as an artist, I make sure it doesn't, wiggle me out of the plan. Like this year right now, I know how many works I want to do, and I know how many works I want to do in each series. I have series of each work I want to do.
Yeah.
So, why is art exclusive? Why can't it be exclusive? So even if you have a particular piece of series that is getting so lot of time, that doesn't mean you should be giving it to them.
True.
So you should still be able to curtail your work schedule so that I want to just roll out this particular series, how many of them in a particular year, and then go back to the other ones.
Yeah.
So now with validation from maybe colleagues or art buyers themselves, that's a good one. It's even said in the art world, every time your art work is being bought for money, is a validation that you are doing something nice.
Yeah.
Yes. So that is a positive feedback.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get negative feedback too. Okay.
Yeah.
That happens to everybody. In as long as you are grounded, you don't allow that to kind of affect you.
Yeah.
But for me, positive feedback is when you are getting rewarded for your efforts. Okay, in doing this, in expressing yourself as an artist, and then the market is like asking you, like for me now, for instance, I am not even presently practically being able to do as much as works as I would want according to the market demands of my work. All right. That doesn't mean that the price of my work, should just, shoot above the whatever. But the idea is that I take my time to execute these works, but there are a lot of, I would say, maybe not a lot. There are some people that are waiting for me now to come up with some works that they've discussed with me. And I keep telling them, sir, ma, please let me take my time and do something nice. All right. So that's a feedback too. So, but like I told you, sometimes influences the kind of works that we do in the next 1 month or so. But then I don't let myself get carried away by not, following the original plan I have, maybe like a quarter of the year plan, 6 months plan, or 1 year plan for what I want to do. So, but the only way, let me say, feedback can affect me positively is like, for instance, now, if I keep getting asked for a particular series of work, then I may now want to take my time to say, I don't want these works to look, repetitively. Okay, how do I, expand my scope of creating variety? So sometimes I split series into multiple series. So that's like forcing out something new out of what is already on ground. Okay, so that's the way feedback works for me.
I think that's a unique perspective when it comes to customer feedback.
Yeah, customers in art, you have to be giving them something fresh.
Yeah. I think it's a unique perspective, and this is why I say it's a unique perspective. When I asked that question, I was initially going for, some customers said, "Nah, this work isn't looking too good," so I needed to do it in a different way. I had to change my style, but that's not what I got, and I like that. What you have shown me and everyone who's watching this is that even with customer feedback, and the feedback doesn't have to be audible, right? It could just be the reality that, hey, your product is selling, so it is good feedback.
Yes.
You don't want to get too comfortable to lose focus on who you are, on what you stand for,
on what
your plan is as a business. Goal. Exactly. So you don't just shift the entire shift because everyone loves the series. And for businesses out there, that means that At the beginning of every, say, financial year of every product, let's say the beginning of the product's life cycle, you set out to achieve maybe X, Y, Z. And it's okay to be nimble, it's okay to be flexible. However, if you get feedback that says, this part of your product is working, so let's make sure all the features are looking like this. And that pushes you away from the initial plan that your features were supposed to also have another variation. You have to be careful.
Yes, exactly.
You have to be careful so that you don't lose focus, because customers, as we also know, are very flexible. One moment the trend is blowing this way, so everyone is this way. And now if you push all your eggs into that basket, what happens when something changes?
Talking about trends. Actually, I had a business partner of mine from UK that kind of challenged me in 2021 because there was this new genre of arts that was like, the main thing in the art scene. It was about the Nigerian artists and maybe few other African artists, but majorly from Nigeria here. Everybody almost shifted into painting, something that looks like American ways of painting, where they paint our people with American dresses,
Yes, all right.
all these like slave dresses and everything. And the person was like, maybe I want to jump in and I replied him. I said, no, hell no. I said, I have my way established already.
Yeah.
It's been working for me.
Yes.
And it's going to work better.
Yeah.
So for some time, during that time, I was replying him. It felt tempting to jump it because that was what was being demanded for in the markets.
Yeah.
But sometimes some things are momentary.
True.
So you have to be careful as an artist. You don't want to be known with that kind of trend because it's a trend. A trend goes up and drops. So something I came across a particular interview of I've forgotten his name now. He was a musician.
Yeah.
But I remember his name. Well, so he was asked to jump into rock and roll, to sing like Michael Jackson and everything. And he told them the same thing. He said, no, that his own is rhythm and blues. Lionel Richie, that's the name. Lionel Richie, he said he wants to do his, soft music. And at the end of the day, he had major success, later on. And he said that if he had been tempted and had left his original mission to jump into rock and roll, maybe he would have been a failed project by today. So that is the kind of principle that kind of guides my goal.
Yeah.
So I have a particular work style that I'm doing already.
Yeah.
And it's a very rich work that is influenced by our culture.
Yeah.
Even the form and the context of the work is influenced by our age-long African sculpture. That's why the highs of my paintings are like this.
Yeah.
If you remember the old Ife sculptures, the way the faces you look and the eyes, everything, that's what you see in my work. So,
are you from Ife?
I'm not from Ife. But I am Yoruba. We Yorubas, we believe that a lot of us we originated from Ife.
Yeah.
So, but what I mean is that my work is influenced by age-long African sculptures. Okay, so the etheric faces, the way they look, and you see that a lot of faces are like stoic faces.
Yes.
You don't see open teeth.
Yeah.
So they look calm, cool, and collected.
Like you want to take your international passport photograph.
So now the idea is that I don't want to deviate
from
what I've started.
Yeah.
So because that person was asking me to jump in the bandwagon.
Yeah.
And I didn't do that. And I'm here and I'm doing fine.
Fine.
By the grace of God.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely. That makes
for those who can be swayed easily, everybody will get their result at the end of the day.
I think what you said makes
So,
sense.
yeah.
So I think to wrap up that conversation, and this goes to businesses out there. Trends are basically customers in a way, because it is that wave of what customers want that becomes a trend. And sometimes the trend, yes, influences the customer. And if trends are not always right, that means customers are not always right. As a business person, as an artist, as an entrepreneur, as someone who seeks to serve people in whatever form, what I hear from you, Mydaz, is that there also has to be a balance between staying true to who you are, and also serving your customers. Because you can't always do what customers want all the time.
Especially if you're the kind of product that you are creating is a unique product. Like let me give you an example now. Rolls Royce. Rolls Royce is a unique kind of car.
Yeah.
There's no amount of money you will give to the company for them to say, okay, design my own particular one this way, because they want their products to remain traditionally Rolls Royce. Okay, so I believe when your work or your services is in a particular niche, remaining true to your traditional value is the best customer experience you want to give to your customer as a legacy. Yes, because that is what we make them to believe that patronizing you, supporting your ideas, supporting your products or your brand has been a through a through conclusion. Let me just put it that way, of the creation, like I said, in heart now, to the consumption. Like for instance, now you don't want to eat your amala as if you are eating a cereal.
True.
Amala is amala, and it must be made in an amala way.
Yes.
So there is no amount of way you convince me that you mix cereals and it tastes like amala, and I will eat cereals with ewedu. No. So that's it. So remain true to your traditional values and give out the best of yourself. So then, as an artist or as an art is unique. It's a niche product, and the people that patronizes us, they are also like unique people too. And as an artist, I see arts collectors as also artists as well, because for each and everybody that want to hang art on their wall, either they are the one that created it or they are buying it, somehow, somewhere, when they were growing up, probably they've attempted to do some scribbles or hearts and everything. So, but now maybe they've gone to explore other professions in the world, and they are well to do now. So they now want to kind of re-experience the customer experience now.
Yeah.
Being an artist by supporting other artists, buying their works, and sponsoring them.
That makes sense. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
It's been a fantastic conversation, and I would like us to close on this note.
Okay.
Something of a reflection. Now, if people in business or other fields need to learn one thing about how artists think about customers, or how artists, let's not use the word customers now, how artists think about people, what would that one thing be?
Okay. Artists, I'm going to give this beautiful answer. Artists think about people as someone as someone to give something to.
True.
Yes. A true artist, an authentic artist, is that person who wants to give out their talent. So, and that is exactly what I believe makes the best of customer experience. When, as a product designer, from the beginning of your process, your main thought process is to want to give to the world a better experience, something unique. Let me use an example now. Look at Elon Musk and Tesla. Okay? He wanted to give people unique electric vehicle experience. And now we are all celebrating his success. So that's the way artists think too. So we want to give out the best of our thoughts, the best of our efforts, and the best of our ideas to the people. So I think it's...
That's absolutely amazing. It is when you want to give out your best that you put your best into
Yes, exactly.
it. So that makes absolute sense. So thank you very much. It's been an amazing episode with you.
Thank you.
And to you out there, we have seen how artists think about customers in the creation of the works that you see out there. It's not about going with the trend. It's not about pleasing everybody. It's not about deciding to stop when you should move or move when you should stop and reflect. It's about, as Adubi Mydaz has said, giving your best out. And that's how you should think of customer experience. It's not design. It's not people sitting in the boardroom. It's not textbook. It's just that actual desire to give your very best to your customers. Have you enjoyed this episode of CX in Unexpected Places? If you think this is for you, then stick with me and subscribe to this channel. Every month, we will be interviewing new people, new guests with exciting experiences, and you'll see how just that translates to excellent customer experience.